My name is Patricia Sanders. I'm 54 years old and I was diagnosed with pulmonary hypertension. On this particular day, I had been really struggling. I couldn't even go to the grocery store without getting tired. The whole day I was just having a difficult time. I did my laundry, and then at one point I brought my desktop I have a 3-story or 3-level, and my Mac desktop, which is right here, I had it downstairs and I brought it upstairs because for a couple of weeks I had been having issues breathing. Like it would be hard for me to catch my breath when I did like mundane activities. So once I brought my desktop up, once I brought it up, I practically had to drop it on my couch. And luckily, when it fell on my couch and it rolled on top of a pillow. So I was like, you know what? This is not normal. So I had to call an ambulance. I had to call 911. They came, they took me to the hospital, and that day, it was December 27th of 2022. That was the day that changed my entire life. I've always thought that I've had asthma, so I'm thinking I'm gonna get to the hospital and they gonna say you got asthma, give me my inhaler, and you going home. No, that was not the case. I ended up being in the hospital for 7 whole days. And for those 7 whole days, I was poked and prodded. All these tests were done. My blood was drawn like 1,000,000 times. I'm like, y'all can't just use the vial of blood you took an hour or so ago. But I understood that they couldn't do that. But I was like just getting antsy, and I wanted to know what was going on. Why am I still here in your hospital? So, but they knew early on what I probably had, because within the first day that I was there, they diagnosed me with pulmonary hypertension. I think, it was late in the evening, but for them to make their final diagnosis, the last test that I had, they had to stick a catheter in my neck, and it went all the way down to my heart, and they could see my heart and my lungs. So neither my lungs were working properly, and because my lungs weren't working properly, my heart wasn't working properly. So the final diagnosis was pulmonary hypertension. And I'll tell you guys, give you the correct definition of what that is. This damage to the right hand side of the heart muscle, making the muscle less efficient at pumping blood and oxygen around my body. Not trying to give you like a little school lesson, but I just want to give you, information on it in case you want to look it up for yourself. And it's rare. Normally people don't get diagnosed with pulmonary hypertension unless they've had like another illness. Normally you don't get that pulmonary hypertension on its own. You have to have some type of autoimmune disease like sickle cell or lupus. But in my case, none of that. And I didn't have any of the risk factors at all. I don't smoke, I don't drink, I'm physically active, and my diet was pretty naturally just healthy. The only thing I had issues with was just eating enough. I was considered a healthy person. Like to this day, they still haven't figured out how I got pulmonary hypertension.
So Tricia is a small framed woman. She looked totally fit. She's tiny. She works out, and we talk about it. We'll talk about it on the phone about her working out and the foods that she eats. She doesn't eat, unhealthy. So when I found out that she was in the hospital for a heart condition, I said, no way could this be Tricia.
But it is what it is. And during the time that I was in the hospital, they prescribed me medication, so I'm now on treatment. So with that, I realized how quickly I had to become an advocate for my own health, because I wasn't going to accept. Doctors, I trust their wisdom and their knowledge, but I wanted to know what was I putting in my body. So before I would take the pills, I would ask them, could I get information on the side effects? Because the side effects are sometimes worse than the illness itself. And I was so gung-ho to get out of the hospital. I just wanted to be home in my own space, in my own bed. And after I got released, that was just the beginning. My journey was just beginning. Once I left the hospital, I was jumping for joy. I was so excited because I was just tired. If you've ever been in a hospital and you've been in a hospital for several days, you know how you cannot sleep in the hospital. You can't, because they come in on all 3 shifts, waking you up, taking your vitals and doing all of that. So when I got home, and I was so happy that my brother, he came to pick me up. He got an Uber to pick me up, got home, got settled. But man, I went through for a little bit. I actually felt like alone, like I was cut off from the world. Now, don't forget that this was new to me, and I was still trying to wrap my head around that I actually had something going on with my heart. So I was like scared to eat things because I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna eat this. This is gonna make me have a heart attack. Just thinking irrational things. But I'm still trying to, I have my faith. If I didn't have my faith and my relationship with Christ, I don't even know how I would have gotten through it. And it's still a process. Like at this moment in time, it still is. But yeah, I did a lot of thinking. What was ironic to me is that I remember several years ago, I actually own a marketing company, TW Marketing Agency, and I was in Ohio for a client. Her name was Tasha Mims. Sweet young lady. She had a stroke, so the radio station was marketing that. We were promoting that, and it was about heart, having issues with your heart. And I'm like, and I don't know what made me think of it, but I did. And I was like, wow, now I am an actual heart patient myself years later. But something that I did think about when I was, during my first week, especially when I was here by myself, I realized that I was having symptoms. I really was. My body was talking to me. Like I would get really tired. If we had this event, Hit USA Radio, we had this event in the park, and I couldn't walk the entire park like just doing it. I couldn't to go to the bathroom. And I would have to stop and because I would be out of breath. That was a sign. And I almost fainted one time where, you know what, I didn't almost faint, but I was at the gym working out and I was on the floor, but I was dizzy. I couldn't get up. That was a sign. So my body was telling me all of this. Meanwhile, I'm self diagnosing. That's something we're good at. We will do that in a minute. And then I thought I had time to make an appointment with my regular doctor at the top of the year and then get checked out. But my body was not having that. No, 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 no. It says you got to get your tail to the doctor because now you are at a stage where it's bad enough. You need to get to the ER to get treated for it. So this is what I want to say to you guys. Um, it don't matter if you look fit, and that's why I thought about the young lady in Ohio with the hoop for your heart. She said the same thing. Didn't look, didn't feel like she could have a stroke, and that's my thing. I didn't look like I would be unhealthy, but it doesn't matter. Sometimes you got to go the extra mile. You have to be a advocate for yourself. So if I wanted to give a message, the purpose of this video is for anybody that's watching, trust your body. It does talk to you. And you listening to your body could save your life. On that note, guys, be blessed. Thank you for watching. Mwah.